systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's up, everybody? We got a steamy hot Thursday for some baseball. Coming off hot last night, we had a little soccer win. Of course, I know it's a baseball show, but I like soccer, so we're going to have to give them boys a shout out. And then we obviously had some games that we talked about yesterday. We had, 3 early ones here today. We got a handful of games here tonight. I think it's 6 games here tonight that we'll be able to talk about. I think we got a pretty good little spread out of some pitching, I think, today, Matt. I think we got a couple guys up at top that I think got decent matchups. I think there's a couple guys down below that I think we can play. But we got some decent games, hot all over the country. I know everybody's feeling the same. It's just freaking you can't even hardly breathe when you go outside. It's so damn hot. But, Matt, how's it going, my friend? How was your week? And, let's kick some ass here tonight.
Hot. That's how it's been, man. Same as you. We're living the same dream/nightmare over here as you are. It feels good, though. I'm not going to complain about the heat, considering how rough the winters can get. I pray for times like these in the winter when it's snow and gray and ice and all that shit on the ground. So take advantage of the heat, get outside a little bit, walk in the morning. It's too hot, too damn hot to do much else, but we're feeling good inside. We got a fun slate to break down tonight. And yeah, man, everything's good. We got the 4th of July this weekend, so good times.
Yeah, big 250th anniversary of our country. But pretty exciting times. I know I'll be out at my camper. I was going to go out there and do the show, but I thought, dude, I'll be set up in that little hot box in there. It'll get hot, man. I'll start fucking sweating balls. I'm like, I don't want to be doing that. I'll do it in my nice, cool basement and then drive my ass 45 minutes out there. Maybe be a little longer today because traffic going to suck balls today trying to move anywhere. So I'm sure my ride will be a little bit longer. But, hey, always exciting times out there. Get out there, have some lucky ones, play some cornhole, have some fun, eat some of that barbecue food. I mean, it's always a good time to get out there. But like I said, Matt, we got 6 games, early one starting out with the White Sox kicking it off with the Indians at 6:40. So we got a little bit of an earlier start here today. But, I mean, dude, just looking at pitching, we only got 5 dudes, 8K or higher. I mean, I'm just kind of looking at it. I really like Bryce Miller at home against the Angels. Anytime a righty at the Angels, I think we got to like that. So definitely want to be in on that one there with Miller. I mean, he's only 9,500. And then right behind him, I think Eovaldi's in a pretty good spot against a Tiger team who's got a bunch of strikeouts in it. Carpenter, 31%. Torkelson's 34%. Outman at the bottom. I don't even know how the hell this dude has an MLB job other than that is a decent outfielder. And then you got Hyo Lee, who's at 28% So he definitely got 4 or 5 strikeout bat. Riley Green, 26%. So I kind of like Eovaldi's had 9 strikeouts this couple last. So I'm going to go against my Tigers. I think that's interesting. Martin, I think, is a wild card. Urena's more of a ground ball pitcher. Seymour, man, I just can't stomach that against the Royals. I think I'd rather have some Royals. Waldrip is kind of unknown yet. Sasaki, I think, is one of them guys I think you can play, Matt. I mean, you get a San Diego team that we don't mind attacking. They don't have the greatest of strikeouts. But this Sasaki, I still don't know if he's any good yet. Like, I want to think he's good, but then he just shows you maybe he's not good. And it's like, I'm not sure yet really about this guy. So I think he's more of like a wild card, but we're playing in tournaments, so I definitely like him.
And then he's crying on the bench. I know you hate that. I know you saw that.
Yeah,
you can't like that. You cannot like that.
No crying in baseball. Ain't no crying in baseball. May, I'm not sure about. And I'm going to say, too, I like some Framber down here against Eovaldi. I think Framber's interesting against the Texas team at 7,300 if you wanted to get some more bats. Other than that, I'm not playing Sassoni, Vasquez. I'm not playing any of them guys. But I think I'd be pretty tight with my pool in these 6 games. Probably just have Miller, Eovaldi. I'm thinking I'd have a little Sasaki, and I really do like some Framber. I think that's it. I think I'm done. I ain't playing anybody else. If you can convince me of anybody else, I'm all ears. But I think on this short little slate today, I'm going to be pretty tight in my pitch.
Miller, Eovaldi, and Valdez for you?
Yep. And I do like some Sasaki, but I don't like him as much. I think I'd have him in 4th, maybe a few sprinkles, because I think he can still get the job done, but he is a little scary. But I do like Framber a little bit more.
Yeah, it's the top 3 for me also, and those are the top 3. Miller is just, you look at his numbers this year, they're amazing. He gets about as good of a spot as you could ask for at home in Seattle against this Angels offense. So he looks like the top dog for me. And then Eovaldi and Framber both look probably equally as good considering how cheap Framber is. He's just so cheap for this spot. I'm still a believer in his talent. Look at this Rangers lineup, man. Like, it stinks right now. So I'm in on Framber, and then I'm also in on Eovaldi because he's a better DFS pitcher, a better pitcher right now than Framber is. Tougher matchup, but still not scared of the Tigers despite what they did to New York this past series. So for me, it's those top 3. I'm a believer in Sasaki, and I like his arm talent in general, but he's inconsistent. I don't love his form right now. And while the Padres have been bad this year, I do expect positive regression from a bunch of their guys. So I'm not as excited about picking on them as the field is. But for me, mostly, it's not even that I don't like Sasaki. It's just that I like the other 3 a lot more. So I'm with you. Miller, Framber, Eovaldi for me.
Yeah, and 2, I do like when 2 pitchers are going against each other. And, if I can get a piece of them, I understand if you pair them together, you're sacrificing a win. I understand that. But, if I can get 6, 7 innings out of both of them and they both can get me a quality start and they're dueling it out against each other, I mean, that's a scenario that seems to play out quite a bit, especially when you have good pitching, because the other guy knows he can't make too many mistakes with the other guy on the hill that's staring at him. So they know. They're competitors. They know they can't give up much. So, yeah, I really like scenarios like that. And Framber, I mean, he's not going to see really any lefties against Texas, but his strikeout rate's been decent. He's 29.6% against lefties, so he's only down at 15%, but his ground ball rates are good. 64% to the left side, 50% to the right side. He's not giving up really any fly balls. And then you look over at this Ranger lineup, I mean, they got Foscue top his fly ball 16%, Jung 21, Duran 17, Osuna's 15, Lopez is like 6. I mean, they only got a couple guys that even get the ball in the air. So that's another reason why I like Framber. I mean, they got some guys that are just going to be beating it in the dirt, can't get the ball in the air against Framber. That ain't going to work. So I think he's in a pretty good spot. As you said, Tigers just swept the Yankees, so maybe Framber seems so sensitive to me, man. Like, I swear, like if things are not going his way, he seems to be a little bitch sometimes. Like this whining.
You gotta hate Framber for what he did last year. Like, I know that you're a Tiger fan first, so you probably like him now, but what he did to that catcher last year is about as dirty as it gets.
No, I'll tell you, he's on my team, and I think he's just a baby. Like, if he was on my team, like I feel like I've watched a couple games of him pitch. The one time they had him come out, and it started to rain, like the first inning. And then when he come out at like 45 minutes later, an hour after, he was just being a baby, I thought, at that time. Rest of the start, you could read it on his face. Like, he was just being a little baby. But either way, man, he's still a good pitcher when he's on and things are going well. And I think, here in this spot, I do like him. I just think sometimes, like, man, these dudes' emotions come into play a lot of times. And, I mean, I get it. It's their jobs, their livelihood, all that fun stuff. But there's nobody else really outside the 3, and you think Sasaki's a stretch. Hey, anybody else out there listening? Is there anybody else you guys consider playing? Maybe that we can poke holes in it. Like, I'm not playing Arena. That dude's got too many ground balls. I mean, I think Martin's pretty good, but they're about to roll out a bunch of lefties on him.
Okay,
so I'm not.
I think the question for me. Sorry, go ahead, finish, and then
I was just gonna say I don't like that scenario for Martin here. I mean, Martin's only 22% K rate, He's been getting some decent ground balls, fly ball rates fairly low. I'm not really a fan of picking on that spot there. I don't know if you feel different, but yeah, I'm not a fan of that one.
No, I like Cleveland here. So they've burned me a bunch, and I know their offense stinks right now, but I like them in this spot with all these lefties. For me, the main question is, as much as, and I'm interested to hear your take, as much as I like Eovaldi and Framber, I think Bryce Miller looks that much better. I mean, he's been electric with the K's, and he gets the best matchup in baseball. Like in any one lineup, why would you not just play Bryce Miller and one of the other guys as opposed to like Eovaldi and Framber? And I don't even care about how they're pitching against each other.
So the answer, I see Brandon here put Dusty May seems in play. On the surface, I agree. He looks great. He's facing the Braves too, that have just been god awful here in recent times. But I'll tell you what scares me. They held him out his last start because of back tightness. So, and he looked like shit his start before. He came, 2 innings? He didn't last very long. He went 44 pitches, and they claimed back tightness. So then he ended up missing his start 5 days later. I'm just a little concerned about that. I don't know what I'm getting out of that. I'd rather let him see a start or two. Maybe on a little game slate like this, if you want to take a chance. I just think it's a little bigger risk than normal than right now just because of that. So I'm just a little bit concerned about the injury issue, back tightness. You don't know what you're going to get, especially in this heat here. You don't know. I mean, dude gets dehydrated. And I'm sure he's a major league athlete. They'll keep his ass hydrated. But my old ass would be dehydrated. My muscles would all cramp up like they do already. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just a little concerned about that. If you're not, then, I think he is in play. The Braves have been god awful here recent times. But that's my concern. I guess I could have said that earlier, running him down. But I am concerned about May's issues there. But, yeah, overall, I think he's not in a bad spot.
The Braves have been freaking awful.
Well, who's been awful?
The Braves. I mean, they coming off of June in which they were the worst offense in baseball. So that's the reason to play May. Yeah, by far. Now, that being said,
OPS is like 299 or some bullshit. I was like, ooh.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. I'm interested to get your take on this because I know you're like a baseball head at heart. So, a couple things here. We know their offense isn't the worst in baseball. Matter of fact, they were the best in baseball before June. So, even though they're clearly not hot, they're cold right now. It's a new month. We know MLB weird things happen. And Dustin May did not look good in his last start. I know they skipped him last time through the rotation, but the time before that, he got destroyed by the Royals. And I know because I played him. And it was very, very disappointing. So I think May's in play because the Braves have been awful. But then I also think the Braves are in play against him, for just the simple fact that we know their offense is good. But I guess we'll get there in a minute, and I'll hear your take then.
The Braves seem to be up and down, and I mean, baseball is a game of streaks, man. I guess, I don't know. I think losing Acuna hurt, that kind of took him out a little bit. You take a main wheel. He was starting to hit. I don't know. It seems like they're in a funk, man. But when they start coming out of it, and these prices are getting fairly cheap again, that's when we're going to want to ride them for a couple weeks. I mean, they just don't seem to have it there yet. So, but I'm going to be watching. And when they start climbing up, I like to watch those last couple days or last 5 days, 7 days, because you watch these teams, man, they'll climb right up to the top. I mean, they all go up and down at times. Damn, the Marlins right now are one of the best hitting teams. I mean, so, baseball is just a game of streaks a lot of times. And I think that's what a lot of these optimizers miss, to be truthful. They don't know what's in a dude's head. There's shit that gets to these guys. They get in funks, man. They can't hit. The BABIP just don't go their way. They're hitting freaking liners at dudes and getting outs. And, it's got to be frustrating as hell. And then, depending what city you're in, these bigger media cities, you got fucking dudes chirping at you, telling you suck and need to get replaced by the guy in the minors who, it's a tough, I'm sure it's got to be frustrating. Hitting the baseball is the toughest thing in all sports to do. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, you can say hitting a golf ball is probably tough, But dude, if
does
you
anyone
stand
even
there-
argue that? Does anyone even argue that? Like hitting a Major League Baseball, you know what I mean? It's got to be the hardest, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, and frustrating. I mean, the Hall of Famers only get a hit 3 out of 10 times. I mean, and we don't even see 300 hitters anymore. Damn, like we only had a couple. I don't know if we had maybe 1 or 2. I mean, it was brutal. But yeah, I mean, so just to recap pitching, May, like I said, that's a total balls call. Like if you want to do that one, he was pitching well before the start. He did suck, and then I think
really
his back
well.
issues, I'm just concerned with that. Now, hey, you can get ahead of it before everybody else if he comes out and throws a gem. You're going to have a probably pretty low-owned guy here tonight that does have some, upside against the worst. I mean, they've been awful lately. So, yeah, when that lines up, I see it, but I wouldn't go anywhere else. But like I said, it's those other 3 guys for me: Miller, Eovaldi, and Valdez. I think Valdez is going to be popular with the optos, probably paired up with like Eovaldi or Miller, probably more Eovaldi to tell you the truth. So I think you're going to see that pairing fairly popular. Is everything else. You said, yeah, I don't know about, hockey is pretty hard. Now I played goalie in hockey in high school, and I'll tell you what, I didn't even know how to skate. We had one goalie, and my friends all dared me to go there and try out. And I put on all the shit they had in the gym locker room, and basically they put me on the team, and I figured out how to do it all. By the end, I could skate backwards and shit with them pads on. But I mean, I did all that. There's no way in hell that I could just stand in rando and even have a chance of hitting a baseball. So, I mean, I could because I played baseball. I don't think I could now. I don't think I could hit an 80-plus fastball anymore. I'd probably be way behind. But I don't know. Maybe if I saw a handful, maybe I could. I know who.
I love the people that are like if I stood in and had 50 at bats against whatever major league pitcher, I'd be able to get a hit or whatever. And it's like, no, you would not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, no, you would not.
No, I doubt that either. But yeah, so all right, let's check out these 6 games we got here. Like I said, 6:40 start here. So we got White Sox, we got the Indians. Looks like a pretty straightforward, almost straight up game. 105 minus 114. So I mean, I don't know. We got Martin. We got Slade, Sassoni. Picking on Sassoni here in recent times hasn't really worked out. I mean, he's not really a high strikeout arm. He has been getting barreled up a little bit more by the right side. He's at 8.2% barrels to the right side. I mean, you got this White Sox team, young and dumb, been scoring all kinds of runs. They just don't even understand if they're any good or if they're just young and playing hard. I mean, I'm still trying to figure them out myself. But, yeah, I mean, Sassoni, high WOBA to the left side, 333, does kind of have a mid-ground ball lean, doesn't seem to let the ball up in the air too much to the right side, 21%, 28.5% to the left side. Just kind of looking here. Fly ball percentages. Vargas has got a decent fly ball percentage. Teal, Benintendi, Colson, Montgomery, Peters, and even Gonzalez at the bottom. So they do have some fly balls in that lineup. Do you want to pick on Sassoni here, or I'm not really interested in picking on Martin, but do you want to pick on Sassoni?
So I actually like both sides of this game. That said, Saccone, while to answer your question, yes, I do want to pick on him. He's been a lot better since Cleveland acquired Patrick Bailey, who's a really good defensive catcher. You look at Saccone's numbers with and without Bailey, and they are pretty drastically different. So that matters. Not as excited about picking on Saccone as I was before that. That said, I still don't think he's good. So on a smallish slate like this, we don't have any crazy spots. Coors isn't in play. The Dodgers are out of Sacramento. There is no Sacramento on this slate. I could see the White Sox getting there. And I also like Cleveland. Martin has been coming back down to earth in a pretty big way recently, and I don't see any reason why that couldn't continue tonight. Again, small slate type of stack. They're not a team, Cleveland, that is, that's going to hit a ton of home runs. But on a slate like this, it's hot here. I like the top of that lineup. Bazzana after a day off. Engel after a day off, after he made one of the most dumb, I don't know if you saw that, where he threw the ball in the stands with 1 out. Gave Texas the lead in the last game that he played 2 games ago. He got the day off yesterday. He was raking in the minors. I like him a lot. He's dirt cheap. Khalil Watt. I like this Cleveland lineup. Not even trying to be a homer. They're cheap. I don't think Martin is nearly as good as he was at the beginning of the year. And on a small slate, I like Cleveland here. So I'm in on offense in this game.
Yeah, the White Sox have done pretty well for me. I can't complain about the White Sox. I don't like picking on the bullpen, Cleveland's bullpen at all. So not really a fan of that one. But that's the first game coming out the gate at 6:40. And then we got about a 35-minute wait. And then we got the 7:15 game. We kind of got it spread out. We got 7:15, 7:40, 8:05, 9:40, 10:10. So we kind of got them spread out a little bit, which it seemed like the last couple of days they were all like bunched up, seems like. But next game we have here on the stone here, which we got the Cards and the Braves. Sitting looking at run totals pretty close to the same, 4.65 for the Braves against Dustin May. And then we got 4.55 for the Cards. Well, I'll tell you what, I really do like the Cardinals here against Waldrop. I think it's just an interesting play. Walker, I think, hold top of that lineup. Weatherholt, Herrera, Burleson, Walker. I think all these guys are in play. We got the Brave side over here. I mean, you got Dusty May. We don't know what we're going to get here with them. But, I mean, obviously just kind of looking at May here with some of these Braves. I mean, if you want to pick on Dusty, like I said, he was pretty good. He's more of a ground ball lean. His K percentage is almost 21%, 20.8% to the left side. Fly balls really not all that high to either side of the plate, maybe to the righties. I don't really care for any of the Braves. I don't really like any of the one-offs here. I just don't know what I'm getting out of May. But if he's on, I'm not going to really like any of these Braves. I'm just not really risking it to put him on the hill for me tonight. But picking on Waldrop don't seem like a bad idea with the lefties. His K percentage is only 16% to the lefties so far this year, but that's a pretty small sample size. If you look at last season and current, I mean, you look at more what he is, more of a ground ball lean type pitcher, maybe has a little bit higher, a little bit above average to both sides of the plate for strikeouts. But I think the Cards can get to him here. So I like some Cards as kind of like I don't want to call them my low-owned stack. I kind of like him in the same bucket as maybe the White Sox. I got 2 other teams that I do like ahead of both of them. But, I think I got the White Sox right there with the Cards as far as like both in my top 5 tonight.
Yeah, I like the Cards here too. Waldrop is not someone I'm impressed with, so I can definitely get on board there. They look good here. I mean, good hitting conditions in Atlanta, good matchup, cheap price tags. A lot to like about St. Louis, no doubt. I also like Atlanta in tournaments, though. May, yeah, you mentioned that if he's on, like, you're not going to want the Braves, and I'm with you there. But if he's not, he's got blow-up potential. And this Brave offense is still really good, despite how bad they were in June. They were better yesterday. They scored a few runs late. Albies homered. In tournaments, I think the Braves have real upside. Bad bullpen for St. Louis. So I like both offenses again in this game. Kind of an offensive-minded slate for me. And then I like how, the Dodgers, who obviously look good in San Diego, but I'll take the offenses in really good, offensive spots as far as weather goes over a team like the Dodgers tonight. And that's both Atlanta and St. Louis. So, yeah, I like offense in this game.
Yeah, too. I mean, Waldrop, he's been having some walk issues too, so he needs to definitely get that over the plate because they got some fairly patient guys above, especially the top of that lineup. So get the bottom, maybe not so much, but up there at the top where all the power is, he's definitely needs to be sure to be getting the ball over the plate. Now, this next game here at 7:40, I think, is a game that I really do like. We got a game total 10. We got Kansas City, which we know, proved the dimensions for hitting from last year. So we got Tampa. I mean, damn, Caminero this dude's just a beast, man. Holy shit. Dude's just hitting the shit out of the ball. I don't know what we're getting as far as the starter yet out of Kansas City. I'm just going to assume it's going to be a bullpen type game, but I do like some Rays. I mean, Diaz, Arnanda, Caminero, I really like. Mesa's pretty cheap there in the 4 spot. I can get on board even down to Cedric Mullins. So I think, with what we're working with, I do like the price. Caminero is going to be a little high, but I like some of the Rays here today. I mean, they got a pretty decent run total here, the highest on the slate, 5.50. So as you see, I was just checking, Dodgers are 5.25. So, yeah, I mean, give me some of these Rays against this Royals team. And on the other side with the Royals, I don't know how you can't like Bobby Witt. I mean, this dude, he's just unbelievable against Seymour. I don't mind picking on Seymour, lefty there. So Lane Thomas should be at the top of that lineup. I like him too as a cheap one-off. You got Carter Jensen, Salvador Marte, I think will all be in that lineup. So, it's fairly decent on a 6-game slate. I don't mind playing a Royals team who generally I just don't think has enough power, but you can always play Bobby Witt. But Lane Thomas would be a pretty good cheap one-off outfielder that should get some at-bats top of that lineup.
Yeah, another game where offense reigns supreme, no doubt. I think it's Kolak pitching for the Royals. He's going to be transferred off the medical list to start here for KC, which is just fine for Tampa. I mean, he's no ace by any means. Certainly someone you can pick on. You have to figure one of these days they're just going to walk Caminero every time, right? Like, he can't just homer against them every game because this started against Kansas City. I think the last when they were in Tampa Bay, when Lugo, who pitched last night, gave up a homer to Caminero, and it's just been nonstop against them. But yeah, they look good here. I think they look like the top stack on the board. I also think they'll be owned as such, though. So on a small slate like this is kind of the battle for me. I think you're going to see the top of the Tampa lineup really owned for good reason. They look like some of the best plays on the slate. I think if I were playing Tampa, I'd want to get a little weird with it and play some of the bottom of the lineup, but clearly they're not as good as Caminero, Aranda, Yandy. You can't play all three of those guys together anyways, which always sucks. So I like Tampa. Obviously, what's not to like? I just don't know if I like them as much as the field does when there's clearly other stacks, just from talking to you during the show, that I like more than the field does. Cleveland, the White Sox, the Braves. I'm with you on St. Louis. So I don't feel the need to have to play Tampa, although I recognize they're the top stack on paper, if that all makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, that's like a lot of times too. We do the slate plan before we changed it up there in June, which actually looks great. It gives you a ton of information. But I used to write up, like a situation like, I don't like it. I'm fading it, and I wouldn't have it in the stacks. And then I get, how can you not have that? They're the top second on the board. I understand it, and I would put in the write up. I get it, like they're the top stack, but I don't like that today. Like, I'm already letting they're the top stack. I prefer these teams. And, that's how you win in tournaments, like try to, limit your competition on the stacks. If they hit, you're definitely in a good spot instead of trying to hit the 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2, or, how many times you got the 4 versus 3 stack and it just becomes your one-off basically, against each other. It's just a sign of the times, like at first everybody started stacking and everybody was true to it. And then it was like, I started thinking like, dude, all you do is play 1 or 2 offs once in a while and, get a little different. And then you end up winning. Now everybody seems to be mixing in. It's just a different thing from when it started. That's for sure. It's been, I've had a fun ride with baseball and it's changed and evolved throughout the time. That is for sure. But always got to pay attention. Always go back and look at them damn contests when you're done. That's the only thing I can always tell you. Help me over the time. Just spend 5 minutes, go back and look at the top 10 teams and look how they were built and what they did. And you'll start noticing things and patterns. And, certain guys are just playing value dudes as their one-off and jamming in all the big bats on the stack they like. I've watched. I can tell you how a lot of these guys play too, just by watching. You learn. It's good. It's good times. But I'm just ranting now because, I had a little safety meeting before the show started, Matt. It's hot as balls. That's like the longest I've been outside all day, sitting out in the garage in the safety meeting zone. And it wasn't safe because it's fucking hot.
It's so hot, man. Yeah, it's hot for that right now. Luckily, I moved recently, so now all of my all of my festivities take place inside, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, that's really nice. Usually I can do that. The wife feels bad for me when it's cold in the winter. She lets me go downstairs and blow it out the fan. But then
Never in my old house could I inside. Like my wife would kill me. I was always in the garage, but now we got more room. There's a room in the basement. She's already bitching about it, saying that she smells stuff upstairs. So we'll probably have to change rooms soon. But right now, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. Get it in while you can. Either way, all right. When the next game here, 8:05, we have the Tigers, and my man over here, Darren, was like to say, I'd like you to refer to them as the first place Rangers. Okay, we'll call them the first place Rangers for you. They're not in my division, so I don't give two damn shits.
Sure.
So either way, first place Rangers over there. I mean, they have won a World Series long before last since my team has. But you got Framber out here today. You got 29% K rate to the lefties, 15% to the righties. He's got Foscue up here at the top. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Sounds good to me. Woba 478 so far this year against lefties. That's softball type numbers there. That's for sure. He's got a 22% K rate against lefties. So we're going to see who wins out on that one. Framber's K rate, or you got the ground ball rate, who we'll see here. He's got 35% ground ball rate. That's not all that bad either. But Josh Jung, 45% ground ball rate to the left side. So you got some ground balls here to be had. The bottom of that lineup got a bunch of 50%. Lopez, 70%. Higagoshi, he's pretty low, 20%. So you do have a few fly balls. The problem with Foscue, he's got a 16% fly ball rate and 19% fly ball rate to the left side for Framber. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see how that one works out. So you got both sides of the spectrum there. We'll see what ends up winning out, the old veteran or the youngster up at the top of that lineup. But I really like Framber here in this one. I think Framber, you're sitting here looking at a game total of 7. I mean, his K props at 5.5. I do like that. And you're looking at the other side. Evaldi's got a 6.5 K prop. Tiger's got all kinds of strikeouts in that lineup too here today. Carpenter's 31%, Torkelson 34%, Riley Green. I think I already went over all this with Evaldi. So yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some Ks to be had here. Now, Evaldi has been getting barreled up a little bit by the left side, 10%. So that's something. ISO's 199, 321 Woba. Tigers do have some lefties that can hit some righties. McGonigal, 379, hit a homer the other day off the Yankees. Carpenter, 353. He has kind of a pinch hit wrist, though. Green. Seems like they pinch hit Carpenter like way too early in some games. That pisses me off. But so, I mean, the top of that lineup, you got to get through. But, yeah, I mean, Evaldi don't really walk too many guys either, so he ain't going to give you any free passes, that's for sure either. So I like both sides of the pitching here in this one. I'm not a fan of any of these bats here. I mean, if you wanted to look at some one-offs on either side, I mean, I would just go for some power, maybe look for some fly ball bats. But, yeah, I don't like anything here. Do you even want to try to play any one-offs against any one of these guys if you don't like them here? Or you got any suggestions for that?
Not really. I mean, I think you can. Like, it's not like Framber can't get hit around a little bit, and he hasn't been great this year. So Josh Young, sure, but I'm off it. The Tigers lineup, you got guys, as you mentioned, you can play, but I like Evaldi here. And just because, at least for me, like I like offense more than you do in some other spots, Cleveland and Chicago, Atlanta. So I like both pitchers here. I don't feel the need to play this game off from the offensive side at all.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I mean, it's just, I think the other spots there's some spots that are pretty good. I mean, you got some pitching you're going to probably want to pay up for here tonight, unless you want to go down low with some Framber. So maybe if you want to stomach May or Sasaki, you could do that. But yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of this one here. So, but we do got 2 more games here on the slate. We got the Angels and Seattle. Another one sitting at a game total of 7. You got Urania, who's just full of ground balls, 55% to the left side, 54 to the right side. It hasn't been getting barreled up at all by either side. His problem is he's been walking way too many lefties, 13.7%. walk rate to the left side. Just kind of looking here at some of these Mariners. You got some guys that are pretty patient. Crawford's pretty patient. Arozarena's pretty patient. Julio, not so much. Kyle Raleigh got a nice walk rate, 12%. So, I mean, if Urania can get the ball over the plate, he's just a guy that hasn't seemed to be getting beat up. So I'm not really liking any of these Mariners. Now, if you want to look at any of these Angels here against Bryce Miller, I'm not really overly liking that either. I mean, some righties have been getting to Miller. He's got a 10% barrel rate. So if you want to look at was reverse splitsy, maybe Neto, Soler, if you maybe wanted to go there. I'm not going there. I'm not picking on Miller here at home with any of these Angels. I don't like it. Both of these games that got a 7 total, I'm pretty much crossing off all these offenses here in this one. Maybe you can talk me into something here. I just don't like it. Angels got 2.95 run total. I'm going to cross all the Angels out. Maybe you could talk me into some of these Mariners, maybe some of the lefties. I just don't love it. I just don't like picking on ground ball dudes.
I actually think that Urania, if I had to pick another starter besides the 3 that we liked, it would be the guy for me. He walks too many guys, but the Seattle lineup doesn't have many scary lefties. You get a big ballpark upgrade for him going from Angel Stadium to Seattle. And yeah, I mean, I think he would be like the 4th guy for me if I had to pick a 4th starter. So as far as bats go here, nah. I mean, listen, whenever you get a guy that walks a ton of guys, you could always use hitters or consider stacking against them because that's how big innings happen. But in this park, I'm good on stacking Seattle. And then the Angels would just be a leverage play against Miller, but I can't imagine they win this late tonight in Seattle. Miller's been awesome. I was really, really impressed with his last start in Pittsburgh. I know I think he gave up a home run to Brandon Lau early, but he was dominant there, and he's been really freaking good. So I'm in on Miller. I'm out on offense in this game.
Yeah, Miller has been pretty good. He's been really damn good, actually. And then we like picking on the Angels anyway with righties. We've been saying it, for since last year. So, they're another one that, anytime I see a good righty against the Angels, it's like, I don't even really have to look too much further. I already kind of know a guy I like.
Yeah.
So we got one more game, 10-10 start. Like I said, it seems like almost every half hour we got another game starting here tonight. So that's always kind of fun. If you want to make any swaps as we're going through the night, maybe you're dead and you want to pivot to like an Angels or Seattle, give yourself a shot because, if you're already drawing dead, like last night I had a Maya, -5 coming out the gate in the FanDuel streets. You're looking at, I didn't even have any hitters going yet. They were all in the late games. I was like, I'm already fucking dead. But I got to switch up my teams and not play the same damn dudes as everybody else because I really don't stand a chance. So switched up, I switched up. So
that's where I would stack like the Angels tonight is if like you use a pitcher early that gets lit up. Like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, that is, something, I don't think a lot of people do. They just shut off their hat and say, I'm done. Well, it may not work, but I'm still giving a fighting chance. I'll play a low percentage stack. And if they go off tonight, I mean, and the other ones don't, I feel like it's the only chance I got. So, I'm definitely into that, but we do have Dodgers, Padres. Maybe you swap to some Padres tonight against a Sasaki who it's been up and down. I mean, nobody's going to play Padres tonight other than that scenario, I would have to assume. So, you got the Dodgers sitting up. I'll just say Dodgers are my favorite, actually. I mean, I can't pass up playing the Dodgers. Randy Vasquez, I don't mind picking on him. He's just not very good at all. He's given up 10 earned runs in his last couple starts, 16 earned runs in his last 4 starts, and he's not been going. I mean, 3 innings, 4 innings. I mean, he's not good. I understand the Padres bullpen isn't something I really want to fool with here tonight, but I mean, I still like the Dodgers. I don't have them way out in front as far as my stacks go, just because of that Padre bullpen here. But maybe we can get the long relief guy. But I think I got the Dodgers, and then I probably got like some Rays, and then I got some Cards, and then White Sox in there is probably my top 4 that I got here tonight. So I think that's where I'm sitting, but I got Dodgers up at the top. But I know a lot of Rays are probably grading out maybe a little bit better than the Dodgers. But man, I like playing the Dodgers. They just seem to get the job done for me. We're sitting at a total of 9. They got a healthy team total. I don't mind picking on Vasquez, not really have any strikeouts, 17% left side, 16% to the right side. He's been getting barreled up by righties, 17% so far this year, 10.5% to the lefties. So, I mean, Mookie's been hitting the ball here recently. We get a Shohei bat here tonight like we didn't get yesterday. So, well, actually, we did on DK, just not on FanDuel because they scratched the start. But, yeah, I mean, they got Edman back. I just think this lineup is – Muncy, I just think it's just almost pretty much the full tilt. So I think I like me some Dodgers tonight. They're my favorite stack. I think I'd be over. If I got 3 teams on FanDuel tonight, I'm probably going to have 3 Dodger stack. I ain't going to lie.
Damn, you like them way more than me. I mean, for me, I can't go so hard on a team in this ballpark when we've got such good weather spots. I agree with everything else, though. Like, Vasquez stinks. I want to pick on him always. The Dodgers are amazing. So yeah, I completely understand why you like them as much. I don't know. For me, like, it kind of falls in with the Rays. I think ownership will be there with the Dodgers and Rays because those 2 teams look like the best 2 teams. And there are other teams that I like, maybe not as much as the Rays or Dodgers, but more than the field. And, we talked about it a bunch this show. We play an ownership game. So I like the Dodgers more as one-offs, mini stacks. Muncy, Ohtani. I don't think they let Vasquez just completely wear it here after they got embarrassed yesterday. We'll see. Obviously, if they get to him early, they're not going to see the best bullpen arm. So there's a chance the Dodgers could nuke this slate because they have the best offense in baseball. I'm going to just lean on this ballpark being a tough park to stack in, them leaving Sacramento, which kind of like Coors, big downgrade for them here. So, yeah. I understand why you like them. I'm going to lean into some lower owned stacks tonight, but I don't think like the Dodgers are going to be crazy highly owned. I just happen to like other low owned stacks. So yeah, we'll see how it plans out. I'm sure the Dodgers will score 15.
Now I'll tell you why I kind of like 3 Dodgers on my FanDuel teams, because you look at the way the slate spread out a little bit. As I said, I can do some swapperoonies as the slate goes. I'm going to be looking at one of my 2 pitchers, probably in my 3 lineups, whatever I have in that Detroit game, which is probably, I'm already going to know how my pitchers have done before 10 o'clock, right? And then you got the other game with the Rays sitting there at 7:40. We're going to know long, too, how they've done. So when you come up to that late game there, I can easily pivot off some of my Dodgers, my 2 Dodgers, and maybe put in some Padres against Sasaki if anything has gone wrong along the way. So I kind of feel like the Rays may take 20, maybe 25, might take a chunk of the ownership. So I'm kind of going to know how the slate's going to fare out. And I think I got a couple decent little pivots that I can use here at the end that maybe could get it. Maybe Sasaki's not right, and maybe we can get on some of the Padres or throw in a little extra Padres that I'm not going to like. So I think it kind of – and then if I'm sitting there and the Rays come out and tank it, and they don't do very well, and I'm sitting there late with all 3 Dodgers, I'm going to feel pretty good about it. So I think it's just more of I feel more versatile, I think. Like I can make some moves if I need to. And if it works out for me, I'm just going to roll the 3 Dodgers or 3 stacks with the Dodgers and roll with it. So, maybe I'll play the Rays in one with some Dodgers. If I don't like it, I could pivot to some Padres. I'm just kind of trying to figure. A lot of times I kind of already know in my mind what I'm going to do as a slate before it even happens, Matt. Like I already know. Like if this happens, I already know I got to pivot or do something. Like I have that in my mind before the slate starts. So I don't really concerned about any of the weather stuff at this point. Like I got to fade any of that here. So yeah, I just feel like the spots that are going to be along the way are kind of spread out. I'm going to kind of see how it goes. And because I'm not going to play any offenses in the first 2. I can see if you did, you already kind of know where you sit. But my offenses I like are going to be a little later. So I kind of feel like I can kind of just see how things go and make some moves if I need to.
Yeah, I respect that approach. I like that strategy. Obviously, playing the late game gives you many more options. So if nothing else, I dig that for sure.
All right, we're getting down here to the end. So give me your pitchers. We already kind of know we got a little short, tight tight bunch of guys that we're going to play. So roll out your pitchers, and then give me your favorite stacks. And maybe a low-owned stack, and then let's throw a home run call out there for everybody.
Yeah, so my pitchers are going to be Bryce Miller, and then we'll go Valdez, then Eovaldi. My stacks, I'm going to go off the board tonight. Give me Cleveland, Atlanta, and the White Sox. And then my home run call, I'm going deep in the bag for my home run call. This guy has been awful this season. I mean, I was thinking about him earlier when you were talking about how hard baseball is and about how in no other sport do you see guys just go from being like truly top of their craft to stinking year to year. Any idea who I'm talking about here?
Austin Riley?
100% Austin Riley. Great call by you. Great call by you. He's going yard tonight.
Austin Riley. I like it. You know, I've said too, I rip on that guy. Like the only guy I think I can't play in the Braves right now is Austin Riley because it just seems like his head is where it needs to be. So, but I am going to go my home run call. I'm going to steal one from Nades and go Lane Thomas. I think, you know, Lane Thomas sitting at the top of that lineup tonight seems to be a good one. My stacks, I got Dodgers. Like I said, I really like some Dodgers stacks here tonight. I got the Rays. I got some Cards. I like both of them. I got all three of those ones. And then pitching for me, I think Miller is one. I do like Framber for the price. And then I do like Eovaldi more as far as like if there was no salary, I'd have him too against the Tigers. I think I like both sides of that game. If you want to sacrifice a win, I mean, I don't mind that at all here today on the slate. But yeah, I think we got an interesting one. Everybody do me a favor. Way out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for us. That helps us out a ton. Always remember here, we got the 5-day trial for $19. You want to try it? Use the code SHIP-IT19. Get everything. You guys can check out SaberSim, everything that we have. I mean, it's a great deal. We got MMA, we got golf, all that fun stuff going on. Of course, we got baseball. So, hey, I'll be back here next Tuesday. Everybody stay safe during this 4th of July holiday. I know it's going to be a hot one. Make sure everybody don't be drinking and driving. Don't be a donkey. I want to make sure everybody's back here watching us here next week. We appreciate everybody joining us. Matt, before we get out of here, you got any last words?
No, great shout out by you. Everyone stay safe. Have a great 4th of July, and let's ship it tonight.
Hell yeah. We're always going to ship it. Let's get some Discord messages in there with some nice screenshots. Always fun to see that. So that's going to do it, everybody. Stay safe, and let's ship it.